Entry number 23, July 23rd, 2017. I did in fact go dumpster diving last night. I went out to Washington County where there are a lot of good dumpsters. The coin god selected Beaverton Transit Center. Initially, I had to go a little bit outside Beaverton Transit Center property to find a cart. It was a Fred Meyer's cart, which concerned me because last night I would not be going towards Fred Meyer's. And there were cops at the transit center last night. As luck would have it, I did find a better cart on Beaverton Transit Center property. It was probably another Freddy's cart, but it had no identifying marks. I moved my stuff into the new cart in my standard way. As I was doing so, a man gave me 2 pieces of pizza. I found nothing but cans and bottles last night in the apartment complexes near the Beaverton Transit Center, but I found a lot of them. So many so that I had to put some in my backpack, namely as many glass bottles as possible. A lot of what I found last night was glass bottles, maybe even the majority, which I did when it got time to go, around 10:45. Someone gave me a small bag of cans last night when they saw my cart full of cans. Putting the cans in the cart works, folks. I think I got on the Max at about 11:05. As I was preparing to get off the Max at Skidmore Fountain, the stop nearest the estate, my plastic bags spilled a bunch of bottles and cans on the floor of the Max. I had to cause the door to open as they were closing around 4 or 5 times while I collected them back into my plastic bags. I arrived home at about 11:45, a fairly close call. It took me a while to cool down from the night's activities. I think I finally crashed sometime after 2 o'clock a.m. and before 3 o'clock a.m. This was unfortunate because I wanted to get an early start the next day to beat the heat. I knew the temp would be around 90 degrees. I had to get rid of my cans and bottles, then get a pack of smokes, then go to Karen's office before the heat really got going. I got going this morning around 11 o'clock to 11:30. Not as early by a long shot as I would have liked, but I figured the heat wouldn't get going until around 2 o'clock p.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. So I figured I still had a fighting chance to beat the heat. Something I omitted from yesterday's entry was that I checked my mail and found a letter from some Obama phone people with a form. They basically wanted to verify that no one else would be using my Obama phone when I get it. I think that's the gist of what they wanted anyway. I filled out the form and noticed that you didn't have to use the pre-stamped reply by mail envelope that came with the letter and the form. You could fax it to them. So I didn't send it figuring I could check if Jeff had or someone else willing to help had a fax machine. When I left my room this morning, Jeff was on his way to get lunch, but asked if there was anything he could help me with real quick before he left. I told him about my mail. He said he knew how to handle this, but said it involved an email, not a fax. He told me he'd fix it anyway, if I would slip the form under his door. Right after that, I slipped the form and the letter, thinking he might be wrong about the email and that the letter might clarify. Then I went to Whole Foods. The machine was up. I got $12.80 for my efforts. I then went to my tobacco shop to buy a pack of smokes. I had run out of smokes the previous night and was smoking rollies. I then went to Karen Kepik's office to call her about the power cord. She was available to be spoken to, but was not at work, so no cord today. I told her I was a bit heartbroken that I didn't get the cord yesterday. She understood and said she also had some bottles and cans to give me. She at least implied she'd be saving them for me from now on. I got to the library at about 1:55 p.m., so I probably did beat the heat. I uploaded entry 22 and a few other things, including a fascinating video of two guys playing homemade instruments, one of which is made out of PVC pipes. MWR video chatted me. I don't recall we chatted about much, but he had me write down 3 movies to watch on YouTube. I also friended on Facebook a girl I used to go out with named Mackie. I also asked my cousin Mike how he knew I was in prison. No reply yet. After the video chat with MWR, I had a smoke and went home. It was getting to be about 5 o'clock p.m. When I got to the estate, the receptionist had something for me. It was my form and letter, plus copies of whatever Jeff had done. It appears from this paperwork that he sent email and 3 faxes, so I don't know. When I got to my room, I relaxed, smoked, and played NetHack to get my mind set for this journal, then started the entry. Cops have been setting up barriers outside my window as I wrote this. I wonder what they could be for. We've already had all our parades, I think. The time is about 10:23. I have $13.21. There are only about 7 pages left in this composition book.